Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about a brand new EV stock known as Li Auto. So it recently IPO'd today, also known as initial public offering. That just basically means that it is posted for the first time publicly available on the stock market for anyone to invest in. That of course meets the terms and conditions of the brokerage. So before we go on any farther, let's go ahead and check out the performance for today. And as always, if you do appreciate the content on this channel and me just covering new stocks in the market, and of course me giving my honest opinions about stocks, no sugarcoating anything like that, then please make sure to smash that like button. I really do appreciate it, and it helps get these videos recommended more. But as you can see, Li Auto, a brand new stock today, and if we look at this number up in the top right corner, it says that 12,281 people currently own Li Auto Incorporated on Robinhood. And by the way, Li Auto is also known as Xiang. I'm assuming they just changed the name to Li Auto to kind of like westernize it, especially with it being posted on the United States stock market. But as you can see, a little over 12,000 people currently own this stock, and if we look at the weekly, it was just posted today. Today is July 30th, so it IPO'd today. And if we look at the progress so far, as you can see, this stock price started out at $15.50 per share, and it says plus 34.78% or plus $4. So I'm actually wondering if it was like $11.50 or if there's just something weird with Robinhood. But anyways, it went from $15.50 all the way to a peak of $17.47 per share for the day at plus 51.91%. So already a 52% gain for today just with this stock alone if you are day trading. So I'm assuming some people made a little bit of money with some short-term day trading. Honestly, if you bought this stock at $15.50, thousands of shares, and then traded it at $17.47, you got a really nice solid gain. And then pretty much after that point, we had a volatility range of just people selling off and then other people buying as well. And then it increased to $17.27 at 3:05 p.m. So still a solid 50% gain. And then once it hit 3:55 p.m. right before after hours, this stock was at $16.87 per share. Then it dropped down a little bit and rose back up to that position where it is at right now, which is after 6 p.m. So all in all, this stock has seen like a 45.26% gain for today. That's a little over $5 added to the share price today. But as you can see, if we look for a description or anything regarding this company, there's nothing available other than just like the stock movements for today, and of course the volume, the open price, and stuff like that. So we have seen some significant movements with this stock today, but there is very little information available, at least about this company, on Robinhood. And honestly, I think what is happening here is what we've seen across many other stocks in the market over the past few weeks, especially over the past few months, as Tesla has grown more and more and more. As you can see, Tesla is currently up 545% just over the past year, and for the past 5 years it's up 473%. I've gained 77.48% with Tesla. That's around $23,000 in gains. So I'm definitely a big fan of Tesla. And I think that people are honestly just throwing darts at the wall on this one with Li Auto, and everyone is just hoping that they can throw some money they're willing to gamble into the next big Tesla stock. And I just honestly don't think that's going to be the case with Li Auto. Obviously, I'm not going to put down a stock right off the bat and say this company is going to be a failure. I'm definitely not saying that at all. But what I can say with some decent certainty, and for one thing, keep in mind anything that I say in all of my videos, and especially this one as well, is not to be considered financial advice. It is simply me just sharing my thoughts and opinions about the market. But what I can say about this stock is that it will not be the next Tesla stock, in my opinion. I think it could potentially be pretty successful in China, but when it comes to the worldwide foothold that Tesla has, I just don't think that it can compare in that sense. And of course, we have to give this stock a little bit of credit in the fact that it is just starting out. This company is where Tesla was at many, many years ago, but that kind of goes along with my point that if you're actually looking for some solid long-term gains on an EV stock, I don't think it's too late to get over on the Tesla train, in my opinion. And keep in mind, I'm not trying to be one of these negative people that's really bearish on a stock just to be bearish, but at least least given the current value that this company is valued at, especially with a price per share, I mean, I have to do a little bit of a comparison here. For example, we have NIO, which in my opinion is a much more reputable stock than Li Auto is currently. I feel like NIO is much farther on into the EV market in China than Li Auto is, so you have to kind of wonder with this comparison here, is Li Auto a stock that was just posted on the stock market today? Is this worth more than NIO, a stock that has been in the market for, about 2 years now and is slowly gaining more and more traction? And you have a company that comes out of the gate with no description whatsoever on Robinhood. Keep in mind, you can get information online on Google and stuff like that, but no information is available on Robinhood, and this stock is already more expensive than NIO is. And if I were to invest in a company that is an EV company that is not Tesla, I would probably consider NIO or maybe even XPeng. I know XPeng is supposed to release an IPO sometime soon, or at least they talked about filing one in secret. So we could see an XPeng IPO in the future. That's XPENG if you just want to keep up with it. But yeah, that's kind of like a weird comparison that I wanted to make. The fact that NIO is less in value compared to Li Auto right now. And I think that the people over at Li Auto understand what they're doing. They understand there's a lot of hype with the EV market right now, especially in the stock market. People have seen Tesla just skyrocket, and they want to get in on some of those gains. They don't want to miss out. And honestly, people talk about fear of missing out with Tesla, but I think a true example of fear of missing out where it can actually negatively impact the investor would be choosing to invest in some of these other alternative EV stocks like Nikola Motors and Li Auto, instead of just biting the bullet and considering maybe buying Tesla stock. Because that's one thing that I don't understand why people don't realize this, is that this isn't the end of the road for Tesla. This is not even close to the end of the road for Tesla. Yeah, people are paying a premium right now because things in the future are being factored into the share price, like full self-driving, autonomy, and of course battery improvements and future announcements. But keep in mind, you have people over at ARK Invest, some very intelligent analysts such as Kathy Wood, Tasha Keeney. They really know their stuff and they do their homework, and they've had a golden goose scenario of like $15,000 to $22,000 price target for Tesla. Now, keep in mind that is a golden goose scenario in the case that Tesla pretty much monopolizes the whole market and dominates everyone else. But I think more realistically, something that I've personally said before, and I think this would be pretty realistic to see if Tesla is successful, is a $10,000 share price by 2030. So that would be like 10 years from now. And I think $10,000 per share would be a pretty valid evaluation at that point if we do see all of the growth that we're expecting for the future. And so far, it seems likely with them getting footholds in different parts of the world with their factories. So honestly, I personally think that instead of just throwing money into a stock like Li Auto or Nikola or some of these other options. Now, keep in mind, I'm a little bit less bearish on ones like NIO. I think NIO has some promise. It does have some relevancy in the Chinese market right now. And then also another one that at least has caught my interest is Tortoise Acquisition. Now, this is currently a blank check company, but I believe it is eventually going to turn into what is known as Hyliion, which is another vehicle company which focuses on the electrification and also retrofitting older semi-trucks and transitioning it into an electric vehicle. And then it also focuses on hybrid diesel fuel as well. So I think ones like NIO and SHLL, which is Hyliion, show a little bit more promise than ones like Nikola and Li Auto. Now, keep in mind, I'm not saying Li Auto is going to be a failure, but what I really want to emphasize with this video is that there is so much hype around electric vehicle stocks right now that many companies are just throwing out IPOs because they know that regardless of their logistics, the metrics, and all of the homework behind their company, if you actually do some research, they know that there's going to be some people, especially when it's a cheap stock, $17, $15, something like that. They know that there will be people that will prefer to just throw some money into this stock rather than actually doing some research on it. Now, keep in mind, I'm not against that or anything. It's totally your money. Whatever you want to do with your money is up to you. I understand if there's some people out there that just want to throw some money into a stock and don't really care if they lose it. That's totally understandable. But I'm talking about if you're taking this very seriously and you actually want to make some gains, I think that Tesla is a much better option. And if you're more interested in these smaller options, then I think that NIO and XPeng, if they release an IPO, are probably better options. At least XPeng is just pretty much cloning everything that Tesla does right now. And that's pretty effective so far. What they've done, they've been able to be pretty efficient because they've copied what Tesla has done. So keep in mind that with Li Auto, there is a lot of risk with one like this. I mean, it could be similar to Nikola, where imagine if you bought Nikola at like $83 and then you held it hoping that it would go higher in the future, and look at it now, it's lower than the IPO price. So, I mean, that's how some of these stocks can turn out. So I'm just trying to warn some of y'all just in case something like that is to happen. Now, I'll go ahead and show you all a picture of what Li Auto's vehicle looks like right now. I believe they only have one vehicle right now, and that is known as the Xiang ONE, and it's an SUV with 6 seats and 4 screens. So as you can see right here, this is what it looks like on the exterior, and then also here's another picture of the interior as well. So a solid looking vehicle. But keep in mind, there's a few factors of Li Auto that I kind of have some issues with. For one thing, they also have a fuel aspect to this, so it's not completely, fully an electric vehicle. So this is partially still an ICE vehicle because I think they have something called a range extender, but it is basically where if you're out of electric, you can top off your vehicle with some gas and that will keep it going. So that is an issue with me, in my opinion. If you're going to be an EV manufacturer, you can't have your feet halfway in and the other one out. You have to be all in, and I think this is where Tesla has an extreme advantage because Tesla is not even involved in that archaic style of business anymore that is associated with non-renewable energy. It is totally renewable energy only. So I think this is another negative factor for Li Auto. And then also, out of curiosity, I'll let you all know the numbers in terms of sales. And this article states Chinese electric car maker Li Auto soars 50% post-IPO by Claudia Aces. So thank you for this article and Information Market Watch. But as you all can see right here, it says Li said it had started volume production of its first model, an SUV called Li ONE, last year, and that it has delivered more than 10,400 Li ONE vehicles as of June 30th. Li said it focuses on SUVs costing between $21,000 and $70,000, seeking to offer customers unparalleled value for money with the performance, functionality, and cabin space of a large premium SUV, but pricing close to a compact premium SUV. So I have to give them props there. In terms of what they're trying to accomplish, $21,000 to $70,000 is pretty reasonable, given the fact that a lot of these EVs coming out are really expensive. And for an SUV, I feel like that's a decent price range to expect, you know, a vehicle to cost that's an EV. And from the interior that we saw earlier, it does seem like it looks pretty high quality. I mean, leather seats, multiple screens, and a nice dashboard interface as well. However, in comparison to what you have with a Tesla, it seems like it's in the middle between like an electric vehicle and your typical older vehicle that we've ridden in for years. So like I said, when it comes to not only just the design, but of course the energy as well, with it not being a fully renewable energy vehicle, it seems like it's kind of in the middle. It seems similar to what like General Motors and some of these other companies are trying to do right now, where they're either making hybrids or they're not fully transitioning to electric vehicles. So I could see that being a potential issue in the future. But anyways, my thoughts on this so far is that it's at least interesting to look at and keep up with. I will personally not be buying it, but I'm obviously not saying that this company won't be successful as well. But what I am saying is that if you're looking for the next Tesla in terms of growth, I don't think that Li Auto would be very comparable. And I honestly think in terms of looking for an electric vehicle stock that you can still gain some money on, I think that Tesla is still very, very relevant and much more than people think. And I think that over time, people will learn that that statement is correct as they see it grow more and more. And I've tried to warn people about the hype behind some of these EV stocks, like with Nikola in the past. I did do a video on Nikola first starting out, you know, trying to be a little bit optimistic, and then I made a second video talking about why I thought this stock was a joke. And some people didn't enjoy that, but I try to keep it honest with you all, and I do transparency updates and stuff like that. So honesty is important for me. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did appreciate the honesty, please make sure to smash that like button. It really does help me out. And also feel free to check out Robinhood and Webull and use my referral link in the description below. If you sign up with that link, then you'll get some free stocks. And especially with Webull right now, you can get up to 60 free stocks. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.